Speaking of
the other top story. So this is a shady picture for me.
This is their picture.
I know the Browns beat the Raiders, which is not surprising because the Raiders suck. And when I say the Raiders suck, the Raiders are awful. Their offensive line is terrible. Ashton Genty, free you. But
no, Freedom Carroll boys. That's what they need to free.
But Shedeur Brown gets his first start, and he does something for the first time in 26 years that happened in Cleveland. It hasn't happened in 26 years. A Cleveland Brown quarterback started their first game and won their first start, and it was Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur had an up and well, did you see the game? Did you see the highlights?
Yes, I watched this one. I had to.
He had an up and down game. But I tell you, he looked better than Dylan Gabriel. For sure.
Now, this is where I offer pushback. And I'm just going to give y'all the numbers. I'm going to give you a reasonable opinion, and you can take it or not take it. Shedeur Sanders, 11 of 20, 209 yards. He's averaging 10.5 yards per completion. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 1 sack against the Los Angeles Raiders. Excuse me, the Oakland Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders, Jesus. They one of them cities, in all of them cities. If you drafted a guy in the 3rd round in Dylan Gabriel, and if you don't think that he could give the Las Vegas Raiders 11 completions for 209 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception, then I question your scouting department.
The Browns? You don't?
No. Wait, hold on. I'm getting there. So if Dylan Gabriel can't do this, then there are bigger problems. I personally think that Dylan Gabriel could do the same thing. Will it probably look the same? No. Dylan likes to throw a little bit short of a ball. That's fine. But I think that this is.
I hope numbers then.
Huh?
You're hiding behind numbers because you watched the game. They threw the ball down the field like 60. Jerry Jeudy had to stop, skip, and jump. That messed up a play. He stumbled at the 1 yard line. Like, I feel like the Browns offense, yes, they played the Raiders. And yes, the Raiders are awful. Just like I said with the Falcons, hey, we're not going to get too hyped. I do think that they look better under Shedeur. But I also do think that I don't know their schedule, but I just hope that with all this hype that the bottom has a chance to fall out of this.
But, I mean,
the team looks like they're really behind Shedeur for sure.
This is what I will say about this situation is he's going to, and I really hate it for him. At the end of the day, I want Shedeur to have a fair opportunity to present himself to the world as an NFL quarterback and get a fair shake. I don't want him to get any preferential treatment, but I also don't want him to be put in a situation where he has no chance to be successful. And like I said last week, this is a good game to start because you're going to play against a team that I think across the board. I hope not, Lord. That's the other part. I don't want him to continuously perpetually be going into these slumlord situations where success is not an attainable thing, because that doesn't do anything for him either. So you're going to play the 49ers next, which is probably going to be not a great game for you. Right. Then you get to play against the Tennessee Titans. That's a really good game for you. You get to play against a guy who people will consider you're comparable, even though y'all are not. He's going to get sacked 100 million times. You got to hope, that's another Myles Garrett 5-sack game.
But you gotta talk about Stefanski. Like Stefanski's, this is me. My point of view. He clearly does not want Shedeur to play at all. He has no intention of wanting Shedeur to play. I'm not saying he has a personal vendetta, but professionally, he is not trying to have any type of Shedeur nothing. Even to the point of when Shedeur did get the first win, most of the time you make a big deal of a quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback, getting their first win. And from all the clips that I saw, because again, we weren't in the locker room, but all the clips we've seen, he gave like superlatives and game balls to everybody else, and then was like, "Oh, shout out to Shedeur for his first win," and then kept it moving. And I don't know if it was edited that way because it did cut out right after the video, but everybody that sees the step video doesn't come up with the same conclusion unless that conclusion is likely. And to me, Stefanski, for whatever reason, the whole thing of him starting and not getting reps and him refusing to announce a starter next week, I'm not going to really fall into that trap anymore, that media trap anymore. But it is clear to me that he does not want Shedeur to play, even at the detriment of an already bad team.
Well, I think that he understands, I think that it's a multi-level kind of situation, because I think he understands that ownership doesn't want Shedeur to be their guy. And I think that he's trying to keep his job. So if I know my supervisor doesn't want this person and clearly wants the other guy, and I'm trying to keep this job, and I haven't won a lot of football games, then I'm probably going to acquiesce to what leadership wants, because if I go against it, then they're going to fire me.
You'll get fired anyway.
Well,
and so your rebuttal to that is to play Dylan Gabriel?
Man, I think that's been his plan. Now, there is another part of this, and y'all may or may not like it. I also don't care. And at the end of the game, they interview Shedeur after the game, and his answer is, "I'm who they've been looking for."
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a couple things. Number one, bro, if you go 11 or 20 for 200 yards, you didn't play "I'm who they've been looking for" football. And I would say that to anybody. If Michael Penix goes 11-20, bro, do not win a game against the Raiders. Like, oh, that I'm who. No, you ain't. That's not what we're looking for. You got the job done. Congratulations. But the person who we're looking for is Myles Garrett and his 5 sacks. That's who we've been looking for. I think that he could have handled that situation better, and I think that that's another part of this situation that people are holding against him. You're a quarterback, bro. They're going to expect you to say "we" and "us," not "I" and "me." And in this time, after all the things that you kind of did going into the draft, I think this is an opportunity for him to say, "Hey, man, this is a massive team win. Our defense went crazy. We had 10 sacks, and we get back to it next week." That's what I would have liked to hear. Not "I'm who they've been looking for."
Man, that's not my personality. So if I feel like you've been shitting on me since I walked in the door, then no. Especially, and then you ain't give me no game, but man.
Right, but the other part is you're in any other situation, you're right. Or if you're playing basketball, you're right. But football, you know what you expect out of the quarterback, because you get all the
Cleveland.
credit.
You can't say that. You make this same thing about the quarterback all the time in Cleveland. They have not had a good quarterback ever since
Correct.
since before they left. Before they left. They haven't had a
None of
good
them.
quarterback. So you can't tell me that is not what I expect out of the quarterback. They've had 40 quarterbacks.
No, but what I'm saying at the quarterback position, and let's be real, Shedeur, you've gotten all the publicity all season. This is the one time where it's like, this don't need to be about me. This game wasn't really about me. Like, yeah, I helped, but the defense with the 10 sacks is what really carried us.
Yeah, the Raiders O-line is awful. The defense did have 10 sacks, but they also couldn't. They've had other games where they've had multiple sacks. They like the Falcons, they 5, 6, 7 sacks and lost the game because Dylan Gabriel was ass.
Okay, well, if you do that, that's great. I don't think no. Quarterback position, this is okay.
What did you expect him to do as a rookie making his first start? Because who fourth string? Because it seems to me that there's a lot of leeway
when you say what did I expect him to do. When you say what did I expect him to do, do you mean how I expected him to handle the interview, or what did I expect him to do during the game?
You already said what he would do in the interview. In the game, you said 11 for 20, 204 yards. You don't get a chance. You shouldn't be able to talk. You shouldn't be able to say nothing. You should be humble, etc. So if that's what you're saying, what did you expect for him to do in his first start?
I think that he played a very normal first game. Very normal first game. And that's what you say after the first game. What did Michael Penix say after his first game? All right, well, great. Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, Michael Penix wasn't fourth on the depth chart. Like again, it just seems like there's a set of sliding rules.
What did Dylan Gabriel say after he won? He didn't say, I'm who they've been looking for.
So, do you think that I don't think Dylan Gabriel should have started over Shedeur? I think that the treatment that Shedeur has had versus Dylan Gabriel versus all that, it's been I don't know the word. Biased is wrong because it's not biased, but unfair is too strong of a word. But it's like, bro, I feel like specifically the Browns we criticized the Jets owner for saying I don't think Justin Fields, saying all those things about Justin Fields. But
and Justin Fields won the next game. And what did he say? All right, when we play football, we won and we kept it moving.
I have no problem with Shedeur shitting on the people that shitted on him. I think that would be how I say that. And if the Browns decide to move on from him because of that, that's what everybody's saying he needs to do anyway. This is your audition to leave. This is not your audition to take the Browns starting quarterback job. No, as everybody knows, they've invested an insane amount of money into Freaky D. So if they're gonna do all of that, then you know that they're gonna get rid of you next year. They don't want you, or they're gonna get rid of Kevin Stefanski and you. They're not gonna do all of that. So this is your opportunity to get out of Cleveland.
My only thing with this is we didn't just come from the draft, but during the draft, the things that he said, people didn't like. You can like that or not like that, but it was a sticking point, which people clearly said when he came in and said, get you or me. They didn't like that. For you to now.
Who didn't like it?
The teams that continuously passed over him.
They needed a quarterback like the Giants.
No, the Giants found their quarterback.
No, they needed a quarterback, right?
Correct.
And they passed over him, right? They didn't want him. Right. So, and the Giants are where?
The Giants.
Who needed the Jets, right? So my point is, if that's gonna keep you from cool, Y'all can suck too. Y'all can be over there and y'all can be trash too. Jackson Dart got 4 concussions in 6 weeks. Cool. Brian Dable was out of a job. Cool.
Yeah.
You can do all of those things. If y'all gonna try to lean on that, you can't. Nobody can explain the Dylan Gabriel pick. Nobody can explain that. Not at all. Tyler Scholes.
I 100% can explain the Dylan Gabriel pick.
No,
I think that
nobody had Dylan Gabriel more than a 5th round pick at the highest, and then to take him in the 3rd is
yes, because so do you think that there is a media circus that comes with Shedeur?
Yeah.
Do you think the football coaches want a media circus?
I think they could tolerate it if they win.
I asked you a very simple question.
Yes, I think they could tolerate it if they win.
You think that football coaches want a media circus?
Do they want it? No. Do they tolerate it? Yes. Okay.
Do you think you want a media circus for a guy that is not your long-term plan? Just a fair question. You just said they're signed up with Deshaun Watson for the foreseeable future. Good, bad, or indifferent. Yes. Yeah. So why would I invite in my right mind at a job that I'm barely holding on to a media circus when this guy there's no mathematical way for him to be our future? All this does is bring
what are you talking about? You can say the same thing minus the media circus with Dylan Gabriel. Why would I pass over a person who I think is better to get Dylan Gabriel? And I'm holding on my job by a thread. And Dylan Gabriel is clearly not good. So all of the things that you saying about Shedeur not being, you can say the same thing about Dylan Gabriel.
If I think that Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are about the same, or I'll even acquiesce this. If I think that Shedeur Sanders is, I want to be fair here. I don't think that anybody believes that Shedeur Sanders is way better than Dylan Gabriel.
I don't think Dylan. If Shedeur Sanders, I think he's 2 to 3 rounds better than Dylan Gabriel.
Okay, so do you so how much better, and I don't know if we can even quantify this, how much better do you think that Dylan Gabriel is than Shedeur?
I don't.
Excuse me. How much better do you think that, how many games do you think? I guess that's the closest way I can quantify it. You take if you and this is once again just hypothetical. If you were to say you start the season with Shedeur, you start the season with Dylan Gabriel, let them play all the games, what record do you think you get with Shedeur?
It probably gets you. Probably get you a couple more wins. I will have to say I have to go back and watch all the Cleveland games in depth. But from what I've seen, Dylan Gabriel has deficiencies that Shedeur does not have.
Fair enough. That's okay. So what I'm saying is, high side, how many games do you think that you win with Shedeur?
6.
And you think that Dylan Gabriel, he won how many games?
2.
So you would assume he probably win 5 at least, right?
No, I don't know. What I've seen,
if Dylan Gabriel
got ass, bro. The only way I could quantify it that I told you before was that Dylan Gabriel to me had a 6th or 7th round grade.
Okay.
Shedeur had a 3rd round grade. Even though he tried to talk, more than likely you saw him go to 3rd round. I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay. Dylan Gabriel for the season, 937 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
So you like to try to hide behind stats a lot.
No.
And then provide context on other things.
Go
ahead.
What I'm saying is, if you look at the evaluation of both of these players, even if you're high on Shedeur, they got to be pretty close.
Why? Dylan Gabriel does it. What's his yards per throw? His yards per completion has to be like 2, has to be like 7, has to be like 5. 5. I think he averaged 5 for like 2 games. Dylan Gabriel can't throw the ball down the field. He can't see. That's why Stefanski only throws screens. He even overthrows screens. Like, that's what I'm saying when you hide behind stats. Like, if you watch Dylan Gabriel play and watch how Shedeur played, just from what we've seen, it's like Zach Robinson and how he was calling the offense for Penix versus Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, he's throwing the ball down the field for whatever reason. Penix, he didn't. For whatever reason, they don't throw the ball down the field with Dylan Gabriel. That has been the knock all year.
Okay. So, I mean, this is the good thing is they made Shedeur the starting quarterback. I think that unless barring injury, we'll get to see him play for the rest of the season. So he'll end up with probably about No. He's named the starting quarterback, and Dylan Gabriel's out of concussion. Yes.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is he is the starting quarterback, and Dylan Gabriel is no longer in concussion protocol. The reason that Shedeur is starting is because he's chosen him to start as the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So he's not in. I didn't know it wasn't in concussion protocol.
Completely out. That's the reason everything came up today of him being named the starter. I would assume that they named him the starter to continue starting. I don't think that they're going to start different quarterbacks every game. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns are going to do because they don't make good decisions. But I also know that if the Browns are deciding, hey, we should start this guy, and they have a history of making really bad decisions, I think that this might be another one. But we're going to get to see it. But it should be interesting to watch.
It'll be fun for sure.
And I don't think it's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. It's fun just because I saw because I saw the team and how they reacted to even the fact that just to one pass. Now they will still have to lean on the defense. I mean, 10 sacks is 10 sacks. 10 sacks is crazy. 10 sacks is crazy. Myles Garrett is about to break the sack record with like 5 games to go.
Matt, he's out sacking teams.
Yeah. He's at 7 in 2 games.
He also gonna have some accountability too, because you're now, I keep calling him Mike Trout. You have all these wonderful seasons and you're not competing for anything. You're just doing this.
Accountability. The accountability. He's Melo. That's what Melo did. Melo should have went to Chicago with Derrick Rose. You decided to take the money and stay in a failing ship of New York Knicks. Cleveland, he should have gone literally anywhere else. Any contender would have traded the world for him.
I agree.
And he didn't, and now you stay. It is what it is. Get your sack record. You're going to get that. You're going to Joe Thomas this way out. You're going to start every game. You're going to get your sack record, and you're going to end up going to the Hall of Fame for playing for a terrible franchise. That's why Joe Thomas is in the NFL Hall of Fame, to let y'all know. The Cleveland Browns were so bad that they were like, damn, he actually stayed there the whole season. Hall of Fame, that man. And he was good.
No, Joe Thomas was elite, and he
don't
never
let me shade that he's not elite.
Yeah,
but
they are basically the Lions. They're the same thing that happened with Barry Sanders, same thing happened with Calvin Johnson, where it's like just wasted all your time. But I don't think that this Browns thing is going to be fun, and I think it's going to be miserable for everybody. That's the reason I would just rather Shedeur get away from this place.
To me, that's why this is his way to get away. If he didn't play, why with everything you just said about media circus and all of these things, if he didn't play, what other option would he have? Who would take a flyer on Shedeur as a backup quarterback with all this media circus with no tape?
He would have gotten another chance. Hey, come in here and compete. You probably still be a backup, but I think that.
But just said that. You just said your point was that Shedeur does not come.
I don't have the same valuation on Shedeur.
How is he going to be able to get to another team and get out of Cleveland with no tape?
Okay, so let me clarify some things. I don't think that Shedeur Sanders is a legitimate starting quarterback on a team that's trying to do anything. I think that he probably is just a solid backup. And him going to a team and trying to play is not going to be great. So I think that, best thing he could have done is been a backup for another season.
For Cleveland.
But no, escape Cleveland, then go somewhere else and really learn, because they're going to let you try out, and he's a good enough quarterback to be a backup. It's not like this guy doesn't belong on the roster. I just don't think that he's a starter on a good team.
Okay. You don't believe he's a starter. That's fine. I won't argue that. I don't really know if he is. But I will say, with everything that happened in the draft, all the teams passed on him. All them teams needed backup quarterbacks. All them teams needed quarterbacks. He then goes to the Browns and can't beat out Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco, right?
Sure.
You assume, right?
Correct.
So if I'm a team and I know that Shedeur comes with a circus and he has no tape and he can't beat out Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco, according to Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, why would I give him an opportunity?
Oh, you call him and work him out. Same thing that happened with Trey Lance. You don't have no good tape with Trey Lance.
Trey Lance didn't come with the media circus that you said.
Yes, he came with being traded for 3 picks and then them moving on from him.
That's not a media circus.
That's okay. Agree to disagree. I think that Trey Lance surely comes with his own set of baggage, and I think that if they gave Trey Lance a shot, I think that most teams would at least say, "Hey, man, let's work him out." He's not that. I think he's that good. He's workout good. I don't think he's like, oh, no one call him good.
I mean, no one called him.
Well, I think that's also how he handled things and his consistency in not handling things in a certain manner and be like, I probably don't want to deal with it.
So if that
also,
happens,
let's address people not handling things right, since we're talking about the Browns and the Raiders. As you can see there, the Raiders were creamed by the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Sure. Fair. With that being said, after the game, they asked Pete Carroll about how he felt and how, he was addressing his team and how they were going to get up to continue the season after this demoralizing loss to the Cleveland Browns. And Pete Carroll, out of his bird brain mind, said something good's about to happen. I don't know the last time I looked at somebody and said, oh, you are not lucid. You're not here. Oh, you're not. I don't know where you are and what you're believing, but you're delusional. Pete Carroll, there is nothing good happening in Las Vegas other than them getting you and your family the hell out of there, bro. Your family is the reason that this team sucks.
Yeah. And you hired Chip Kelly.
I am not blaming Chip Kelly for this. I'm blaming Pete Carroll. I actually think that Chip Kelly got a raw deal. You got this terrible coach and your son as the offensive line coach and the running game coordinator, and we get tackled in the backfield 70% of the time. How am I supposed to call as offensive coordinator? What am I supposed to do with that when they're going to tackle him in the backfield every time? You're not coaching the offensive line. You're not coaching the running backs to be successful. And we believe that Ashton Jeanty is a good football player. You're not even getting close to getting it done. And these are your family members. If I'm Chip Kelly, I'm happy to get the hell out of the Raiders. Hey, bro, it's people that need offenses.
They about to fire. They're going to fire. They're going to move on from Pete. I think Mark Davis has already been kind of, once you start seeing stuff leak, like sources say that the Raiders may move on from Pete Carroll, that the sources are from the Raiders. So that means they're already getting ahead of the story and telling you, hey, Pete Carroll can get the hell on.
Yeah, you and your family, because y'all suck. We lost to the Browns. Now we got to explain how we lost to Shedeur. Because you know that Vegas radio eating them up. You lost to who? And what? Dead on arrival.
With Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty.
Right.
They need a lot. and they should have traded Max Crosby. They're another team that should have traded their star defensive end because he's not on their timeline. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
The Raiders are a shit show.